These are people who are ambitious. They might be pitching for business, etc. Everybody's attention span is completely different than it was a few years ago, right? You've got to stop the scroll. You're competing with so many different things. So to the extent that you can have more energy, that you can bring some humor into the conversation. Now, obviously, there's some conversations where humor would be inappropriate, but
Mhm.
some people feel uncomfortable being funny or being silly or think there's no space for it. And I have gone in the most serious spaces and will make a joke, right? I have gone to do training, compliance training in Mexico, and I will joke about, treating about employment law. And I'll say, look, don't use our money to go get a tabolera, which is a lap dance, right? And I said, because I happen to know that in Guadalajara, the best place is XYZ. So if we see it on your expense report, blah, blah, blah. Everybody erupted in laughter, right? I'm there as the compliance officer going down there to talk about bribery, corruption, money laundering. But I started with something like that. And I
Yeah.
joked and I even did a little dance. Who would think that,
Great
first of all,
dance.
totally disarmed everybody, right?
Exactly.
Because they wouldn't expect the lawyer. And by the way, expectations very low when the lawyer's coming to do compliance training, right? So that was an advantage. But then I completely changed the conversation. And
Mhm.
why that was important is because later I had to do risk assessment interviews and I had to talk about where are some of our biggest legal and compliance risks in the company. And people felt much more comfortable talking to me because I showed up as a real person. I could have
Mm.
showed up and said, ready to do the slides. And by the way, if you violate the law, you're going to be fired immediately. I said that. I said, by the way, I'm making you sign because I'm not going to jail because of you people. So make sure
Mm.
you sign. And then they all laughed, right? So how do I use my words? How do I put in humor in a situation which makes people feel comfortable, which makes them
Exactly.
say, what is she going to say next? What outrageous thing is she going to say next? So the training tends to be more effective. So
Mhm.
think about how you can, because my authentic self is to be that way, right?
Yeah.
So even if that's not you, the benefit of an improv class or even saying a joke, right? Even by the way, if it's a bad joke, because people will just laugh at you, and in which case they're more relaxed, they're more
Mhm.
receptive to what you have to say. Those are ways that you, again, can get people to be more on your side. Like you
Mhm.
talked about earlier, I'm going to build the rapport because people feel, okay, she's funny, or she's not funny, but she tried, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.